Dr. Ade Mensah, the chairperson for today's occasion. Dr. Emmanuel Tinkrine, the Regional Director of Health Services Ashanti Region. Nana Obri, Mr. James Mensah Donko, whom I've just seen coming. My Lord, Sir Dennis, who will join us shortly. All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome everyone to this morning's symposium. This is the first in a series to come. Now, somebody may ask, what is this business of patient right about? Patient Right is an NGO that is dedicated to protecting and advancing the constitutional and statutory rights of patients in Ghana. The organization's business is anchored on three things. The first is education, the second is victim support, and the third is policy advocacy. Now, with education, basically it's about three things. The first being media campaigns to educate the general public about medical legal issues. Now, when we talk about medical legal issues, anytime there is an interface between law and medicine, it's often termed as medical legal issues. And whereas the doctor is trained to offer his services, in delivering the services, there are some medical matters involved, or there are some legal matters involved, and that is very important, and this is what we need to be aware and work on. Now, aside educating the public through the media, we also seek to work through the various professional associations to educate the practicing professionals to be aware of these medical legal issues. And last but not the least, with respect to education, we also seek to educate the trainee health professionals. This is, you can also term this as the catch them young part, so that even as they are undergoing training, they are able to build their capacity to know far ahead of time these medical legal issues. And I'm sure it is often said the devil lives in the detail. Once we get to the question and answer section, these issues will come up, the real issues will come up. All of us have been patients at one time or the other in our life. If you have not been a patient yet, I'm sure in our life journey we will all at some point. Yes. And last but not the least on the anchor is victim support. Now, what is victim support? Now, those of you here who have ever experienced medical malpractice or medical negligence, or if a family member has ever witnessed it, you bear with me that those victims actually carry with them psychological scars. It can be very, very, very scary. And these victims often need emotional rehabilitation. They need experts, a psychologist who will be able to help them to put their lives back together when they have encountered medical malpractice. And this is one of the services the NGO offers. Now, the NGO also provides legal aid or legal assistance to victims to demand accountability or to demand compensation, whichever applies. So that is also one thing we do. And last but not the least is policy advocacy. Now, if you look at Ghana, there are many, many, many areas that we currently do not have laws regulating. One is organ donation. Not long ago, this issue of kidney failure is on the rise, and I think that if you have been following current affairs, people are asking, so where is Ghana's kidney bank? Now, we don't even have a law that governs donation, therapeutic donation of organs. We have the Anatomy Act that only talks about how you can donate your body after you die for research to be carried on, and so on and so forth. But if you want to give your organ, there is no law. So if somebody harvests your organ, what law are we going to use? So there's no law, there's no legal framework. Aside organ donation, even surrogacy. I know the current Birth and Death Act mentions Section 22 about a surrogate, but that's all there is. Aside that, surrogacy, there is no law governing it. Aside surrogacy, in fact, there are so many areas that our laws are silent or we don't have. So policy advocacy through this NGO, we will be actually engaging those at the helms of policy to alert them of what is going on and then actually push them to pass the right laws so that together all of us will be safe going forward. Now, it is trite knowledge that patient charter is crucial to safeguarding the rights of patients and standardizing healthcare. This surely must have been the legislative intent of Ghana's parliament in enacting Ghana's patient charter in 2012 as part of the Public Health Act. Unfortunately, the patient charter has been shrouded in anonymity since its passage into law with doubtful impact or dividends. Now, if you do a head count here regarding if you should just pick anybody and engage him on what the 14 rights and the 9 responsibilities which together forms the patient charter, if you ask, I don't know how many of us will get it right. Now, and those gathered here are mostly lawyers, medical professionals. And if we cannot get it right, then, clearly it means that if you extend the survey outside, the outcome may be worse. So this should tell us that the patient charter, as important as it is still shrouded in anonymity. It is our considered view as an organization that the charter remains the right tool to bringing about the desired attitudinal change in our healthcare system to minimize, if not curb, avoidable harm caused to patients. The missing link, in our view, is enforcement. Now, the World Health Organization, WHO, they recently launched their patient safety charter. I think Ghana is ahead. It is now that the WHO itself is launching a patient safety charter. Remember, in 1948, when the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was launched, it is what gave birth to many, many human rights charters in many constitutions. Even Ghana's constitution, if you look at chapter 5, is just a copy from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now, the WHO has launched a patient safety charter, which is going to more or less stimulate, countries which do not yet have a patient charter to do. But Ghana, we have had ours 12 years on, but it's just that enforcement has been lacking and the impact has been doubtful. Yes, now, they stated in that patient right as part of the preface that 1 in every 10 patients, that is 10%, experience harm during healthcare, and that 50% of this harm is preventable. So what it means is that if you send 10 people to hospital, 1 person is likely to suffer malpractice or harm, and that harm, half of that harm is avoidable. Now, what this means is that the patient charter is a menace not only in Ghana, but globally. So what we have actually gathered to do is not something that is unique to Ghana. It's something that happens out there. The way forward, in our estimation, lies in educating health professionals about the legal implications of their work and empowering ordinary patients with knowledge about their rights so that they can enforce same. Awareness creation, coupled with legal enforcement of the patient charter, will certainly engender the desired attitudinal change patients crave for. Now, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot end today without thanking our donors and sponsors. They have helped to put together this program. Remember, as an NGO, our only source of income is your kind donation. So if you love what we do, you are hereby encouraged to support through your donation so that together we can make a voice for the benefit of patients in Ghana. Thank you.